For serious YouTubers, save time and money with TubeBuddy, the premier tool used at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. Hey, welcome to another episode of geekoutdoors.com. Now, one of the greatest things with our modern technologies is that we're able to experience older technologies that we love or that we were fond of as well. And one of my viewers, Rose, if I remember correctly, is the one who recommended that I try out DosBox. So thank you for recommending that. And if you're not familiar with what DosBox is, it's basically a MS-DOS emulator. Now, for people who are not old enough to know what that is what Windows used to be, which is basically command line before it became the Windows that we know today, which is all a GUI interface. Now, you could still use command line in Windows. If you go down here and you go right here to Windows PowerShell, you could definitely do command line right here still in Windows. Okay, and let me show you what this is in the old days, the original days of computing in Windows, which was all through MS-DOS. So let's go ahead and go back to MS-DOS. And the way you would do that in Linux is there's a program called DosBox. And DosBox is available for multiple platforms. And it's an emulator of MS-DOS. And this is a great program developed by people who actually love doing this. And this is an open source project. And so if you did want to help them out and donate, you could make a donation here. But the site has everything you need, including setup instructions and also commands as well for people who don't remember all the MS-DOS commands. But in Linux, or at least in Linux Mint, the way you would install DosBox is pretty simple. So you go to Menu, go to Administration, and then go to Software Manager. And then whenever Software Manager comes up, you could just simply type in DosBox. Okay. And it's right here. It's actually under Games, which is kind of weird. And then you would just install it. Okay. So once you install it, the emulator should come up right here under Games, of all places. But you'll understand why it's under there, because it kind of makes sense, you know. And so once you have it installed, all you do is launch it. Okay, now obviously this is in a windowed mode, but you could make this larger as well, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, before you actually start using it, I would recommend you create a folder for your MS-DOS programs, because this will run MS-DOS programs, which is awesome. That's why I actually enjoy using this, because it allows you to run things that you can't really run anymore unless it was running in MS-DOS. Okay, now there's obviously other ways you could do that through emulators and so forth, but this is the best way. Okay, so once you've created your folder and you put in all the MS-DOS type files that you want in there, including games, of course, and then you could run it later in this particular DosBox program. Okay, now once you start up DosBox the first time, you probably need some information on how to use this. So you would just type in intro, and it will give you instructions on how to get started, you know, how to mount your directory to make it a C drive and so forth. And then if you press enter, it'll give you really quick information on how to do that. And if you press enter again, it'll give you information on how to mount your CD-ROM or your optical drive. And then it'll also give you some really useful commands to do things within DosBox. And so I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen, and you can do that by doing Alt Enter, and you will have a full screen, which is awesome. Now, the first thing you want to do is actually mount the directory that you just created to make sure that DosBox sees that as your C drive. So all you would do is type in the command mount, okay, and then C, and then current working directory, and then the directory you want to mount, which is MS-DOS. That's the directory I created for my MS-DOS programs. It'll tell you it's mounted. Then you go to that directory, then bam, there it is. And all the commands that you are familiar with in MS-DOS is here. So for example, if I wanted to actually create a directory, I would just do md, and let's just call it test, then dir. There's my test directory. Now I do have a text file right there called geek.txt. What if I wanted to see the contents of there? type geek.txt, and that's the contents of the text file that I created earlier. You could also make copies of that file as well. So geek.text, and then let's just call it geek2.text. Okay, and then it'll tell you it's copied, and then you could do the same thing. You could just look at the contents of that as well, and there it is. And you could also delete stuff as well. So if I want to delete that file, well, actually let me do a rename. Okay, so say I wanted to rename this particular file. I could say rn geek dot, or let's say geek2.txt, name it stuff.txt. Oops, I'm sorry, that's the wrong command. I think it's ren. That's right. It's been a long time since I've used DOS, obviously. So let's try that again. All right, so now if I do this, now it's called stuff, and if I do this, there it is. And then I could also delete that file as well. Okay, do dir, it's gone. Okay, and I could also clear the screen as well. Oops, not clear, it's called CLS. So like I said, if you remember using DOS, all your favorite commands will be there, you know. But the most fun things that I have about downloading DosBox is I'm able to play some old classic games. You know me, I'm a gamer, and so I did get some games downloaded, and of course I'm gonna go play a classic on the PC, or in this case MS-DOS. It's gonna be Duke Nukem 3D. So let's go ahead and try this out. And I already installed it earlier, so this should work. And this is the original Duke Nukem, and this is actually the shareware version, so this isn't like the full version. So let's see if that works. Yes, come get some. So, and let's see, let's go ahead and let's rock. And this is actually the DOS game. So whatever DOS game that you had, you know, like played earlier, and as long as you have it in that directory, it'll work. Like pretty much all the ones that I've tried. Okay. Whoa. So let's go. And I can't believe this is working. This is so awesome. Yes. Yes. And like I said, this is definitely DOS. You know, it's excellent emulation. And of course, our computers are so powerful today. For the most part, you should have no problems. But, you know, some games, they just don't work that well, even with our powerful hardware, because the emulation isn't quite perfect on some games. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what's going on? Uh-oh. Ooh, 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 ooh. And you gotta remember, whenever this game came out, the graphics and sound were top notch. So this was like high end. So you'd have to have a pretty powerful computer to run this. And at the time, I had a pretty powerful computer, I'd say. I had 4 megs of video memory, so it's pretty sweet. Now, I don't even remember where I'm going. So maybe I go, oh yeah, just go here. Nope. I cannot remember. Okay. Okay, so reliving these old memories right here. Oh. All right. Great graphics, great sound. Man, this brings back so many memories. All right. Not really sure where I need to go. Okay, I'm being shot at, but I don't know from where. Oh, okay. By this guy. Okay. Oh, yeah. Come on. Yeah, check out this sweet animation. Ugh. You could also just use your bare feet as well. Take that! Or you could get your weapon back. Yeah. I don't know where I'm supposed to go because I don't remember. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that this does run games. And let me go to something else that I enjoy. And for the most part, most people will definitely download this because they want to play old DOS games or run old DOS programs. Okay, so that's probably the majority of people who's gonna be doing this. And so people like myself. Oh, wait, I forgot what the command was. Was it this? No, yeah, that's it. Go back to your main top level directory. So let's try another one that most people are familiar with. Let me see. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are familiar with this game. So, and this is gonna be intense. Haha, yes, Warcraft 2. This game is so awesome. And Warcraft 2, I remember playing this when I was young, and man, this game was pretty awesome, you know. And obviously Warcraft is on another level now today in our modern age, you know. But man, this works perfectly. Okay, about the only thing that didn't work really well was the fact that the intro, the CG intro, just didn't really work that well, you know. So let me see. Stand ground. Check this out. Yeah, let's explore. I don't know how many hours I played on this game, but I played quite a bit. Yeah, take him out. So as you can tell, everything works great. You know, you could, you know, even set your keyboards, your graphic settings, your sound card. Everything's here just like you remembered, you know. So this is because this is actually DOS, like I said. Man, I'm so happy this is here. So thank you so much once again to Rose for, if it's not Rose, whoever recommended this, but I'm pretty sure it's Rose. Oh man, I could play this for hours. You know, out of all the old Warcraft games, you know, before it went online or whatever, Warcraft 2 was my favorite. You know, a lot of people would say Warcraft 3 was their favorite, but this one was my favorite, you know. Yeah. It's out. Get him. Oh, yep, that's not working out. Yep. Pretty much dead. Pretty much dead. Oh, let's go. So as you can see, everything works quite awesome for people who love DOS and especially love the games on DOS. So let me go ahead and go back to the menu and end scenario. Exit program. Yes. And so as you can see there, you know, you could do all your fun MS-DOS stuff in here. Everything works, you know, and I'm really impressed by it. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super impressed by what the developers were able to do with this, and also how accurate it was and how easy it is. Okay, I mean, it's, you know, like if you remember whenever you had, you know, your Windows machine back then, it was a pain for you to set up things, especially with games, you know, with sound cards. Back then, graphics card really wasn't a thing. It was primarily with sound cards, getting that to work. You know, I had the Sound Blaster from Creative Labs and everything else, and it was just, I remember it being a lot more difficult, let's just say that, to get things done versus how things are done here. It's just so much easier, and we spent so much time on this. Me and my best friends, you know, on DOS and stuff. It was just spent a lot of time in DOS, and you had to, because, you know, there really wasn't any other way for you to use your computer besides command line, you know. And so nowadays, even within Linux for the desktop, you know, you rarely have to use the command line. But I'm so happy that we have something like DosBox. and many other old emulators. Probably the next one I'm going to try and get to work is definitely the Commodore 64 128 emulator, because that was the first computer I really used at home, and it pretty much got me into the whole technology thing when I was a kid. So that's it for this particular episode of GeekOutdoors.com. If you had any thoughts on DosBox or any other older computer emulators that you remember, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did enjoy these videos and you got a lot of value out of them, leave a like and subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/Geek Outdoors. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.